Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We've got a whole lot to look at on the program this morning, 360 Sports. Well, we'll look at Nigerian sporting story, how we're faring and where we are. The big one will be happening on Friday at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State. It is a double header against the Mediterranean Knights, of Libya. So it is for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The camp keeps swelling, and we are expecting other players to come in today. About 20 players had their first training session yesterday at the training pitch of the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. So other players, the likes of Ejuke, Chidera Ejuke, Kelechi Iheanacho and co, are expected to hit the camp today, and probably we will have a full house that will marshal that game against the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. So we'll be looking at that, but from a different perspective and other story. The big one, another one broke out this morning in Europe. Yes, so they call him the gentleman. Indeed, he's actually a gentleman. We will get to that story when we look at it at transfer stories on the show. But let's begin from the home front. They say charity begins at home. Let's start with volleyball this morning, where the National Division 1 and 2 final phase, but the National Division 1 final phase will start before Division 2. Both of them will start definitely not at the same time, but it's just a few days in between Division 1 and 2. But the final phase is set to spike off right there at the in Umuahia, that is at the Umuahia Township Stadium in Abia State. So Division 1 and 2, according to the technical director of that federation, that is Martin Melandi, gave this information where the League Management Committee, LMC, had a meeting, and it has been ratified that the final phase will spike off at the Umuahia Township Stadium. Like I said, it's going to be the Division 1 and 2 are going to have their final phase from October 11th, just two days away from now. We should be having that event up and running. So it's going to run from the 10th, that is from tomorrow, from the 10th to the 20th of October. So we will have at least a week plus action right there at Umuahia Township Stadium in Abia State for the Division 1 and 2 final phase. But like you said, the Division 1 is set to start, is set to spike off before the Division 2 games. So the final phase, it has been a good one. If you look at the Nigerian Volleyball Federation, they are one of the vibrant federations we have in Nigeria. Their competition, they don't fail in their programs. They follow the program mapped out outlined for the year. So when they are having series of events, and that is why you are seeing what the achievements so far in the Nigerian Volleyball Federation, and they are actually planning of getting the Olympic tickets has eluded that federation twice now, for the Tokyo 2020 and that of Paris Olympic Games. They just miss out by some whiskers, but this time around they are ready, definitely ready to get it through, to get that ticket for the Olympic Games come in Los Angeles, that is in 2028. So let's see how far and what it is, how they can go, how they can get it. But for the finals, it's going to be a very good one. And as it is, we know that for volleyball is not that too popular in this part of the world. In Nigeria, but we are doing our own and we are getting it right with Engineer Musa Nimrod at the helm of affairs, doing it well for that federation. All right, for the Division 1 and 2, we wish all of the 20 teams well, and we have our own Abuja-based team, that is Life Camp Volleyball Club, would be right there at the Umuahia Township Stadium, also getting ready to do battle. So I want to urge all Abuja fans, volleyball fans, and sports fans alike to do well to support That's to support the Abuja team, that is Life Camp Volleyball Club, who will be participating in the final phase of the volleyball tournament in Nigeria. All right, let's leave that story, and we'll quickly go straight to the Flamingos, who are in Caribbean country, Dominican Republic, preparing for a 2 weeks training for the under-17 Women's World Cup. All right, I have Canis joining on the show. Okay, when he's ready, definitely we'll be having him on the show. All right, for the Flamingos, they continued their preparation right there in Dominican Republic. They are having a 2 weeks training camp just to get themselves acclimatized to the weather and what is to come right there in that country. And they played a 1-1 draw. Faridat getting us that goal in the 33rd minute of the first half of that game, in the friendly game against another side that will be playing in the competition, that is Mexico. But now the coach Bankole Olowokere, says the Flamingos at least admits pressure this time around. They admit the pressure is there because the last edition in Indian, they came third. They were third. We won the bronze. Position right there in Indian when we went for the last edition. So this time around, the pressure is to at least to get to the finals, probably pick the gold, win the tournament, or come back with a silver. But the coach is looking forward, after putting up a very strong team during the qualification series. This team actually scored 25 goals in total during the qualification series. So that's to tell you how they are, how potent they are in front of goal. Is a free scoring side, but in the friendly game against Mexico, they actually find it difficult just scoring 1 goal in that game. And I believe the coach has actually put everything, at least have watched the team, have looked at areas of lapses and have corrected it. And we are looking forward to the Flamingos doing well at the under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominican Republic. So, but for the coach, he admits that there is pressure in the team, but definitely he also said they are working hand in hand to see how they can actually at least put this pressure aside and concentrate on what is ahead. All right, I had Ephraim Okpanachi joining me this morning. Ephraim, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here again.
Okay, we started with the volleyball. The National Division 1 and 2 final phase is set to spike off in Abia State. That is at the Umahia Township Stadium in Umahia.
Yes, volleyball is quite popular in our country, Nigeria. And when you look at what has happened there, the time where we had it, then you always the North Africans have been the strongest sports in the African continent. So having something that allows players to progress, from the age card, as I say all the time, is a welcome development. So let's get what they have and the players can identify from there. It's good that this is happening as well.
Okay, we are struggling to hear you, Ephraim. If you can at least work on the audio from your end, so that we can hear you better. All right, I have Canis joining me on the show this morning. Canis, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm here this morning.
All right, let's start with we looked at the volleyball competition in Nigeria coming up very soon, the final phase 1 and 2. But we are looking at the Flamingos. What are your expectations? The coach has come out to admit that yes, there is pressure on their side. What are your expectations for Flamingos at the Under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominican Republic?
Well, for me, going by the performance of women's football in Nigeria, how they play and their outgoings, the expectations are high, like Bankole, the coach, has said, and we are looking forward to see them having good results. So I know their first game should be against New Zealand on the 16th. And of course, they are playing in a group that has the host nation as well. So my expectation is that we would qualify from the group and possibly top that group. If we think of the last outing at, I think it was India under
Yeah.
17, where we finished with the bronze medal, you would see that at that level, the girls are always hungry and trying to put their best foot forward. And the preparation is also interesting because they were matched with boys of the same age group just to prepare them physically, to get them in shape ahead of the competition. So I really hope and expect that it's going to be a wonderful outing for the Flamingos.
Okay, it's going to be a wonderful outing for the Flamingos. Now, let's dwell on that quickly. You made mention of how do you rate the development of women's football in Nigeria?
Well, the thing is that every stakeholder has been trying to, do what they know how best to do. It's never easy, especially a place where we have limited resources going into that sector. When I mean sector, I'm saying football sector.
Yeah.
So, but because the average Nigerian is very passionate about football, it can only grow. It can
There's a
only
lot of
grow. Like
which we use that on top of
where we are
camera.
now,
Yeah, but I
going
use
from
it. It
it's
was
going to don't really support the young ones, the talents to play professionally to go there. But seeing how people have actually made it, like gone out there and gone to Europe to actually make a living out of football, you would see that we are beginning to have that support because it's all about the ecosystem, not just putting talent programs in place and development programs in place. We also talent identification program. I mean, we also need the first people that nurture the talents, which are the family, the parents. We also need that support to allow them to go out there and to develop. So we can only grow. That's what I can say. Where we are now and where we are heading to, it might not be like a a rapid increase, but we'll get there.
Okay, we will get there. That is Kanis saying definitely we will get there. And your expectation, I believe it will come to pass for their outing at the Under 17 Women's World Cup right there in Dominican Republic. Could Bankole Oluokere will say the pressure is on their side, pressure is on the team, but they are also handling that pressure very well. First game is against New Zealand, and your first game matters. They say the market that will look good starts in the morning. All right, let's leave that story and go straight to the under 20 team. They also are preparing for the under 20 Wafubi tournament to be staged in Togo, Lomé precisely, and they are going through their final phase in Ikene, Ogun State. They are using the Remo Stats facilities in Ogun State, and the Flying Eagles continues final preparations in Ikene, Ogun State. And we know the team, they are going to play a series of friendly games in that particular place in Ogun State before they will leave for Lomé. All right, Ephraim, good to have you back. I believe your audio is good now. We're looking at the Flying Eagles. They are in Ikene, Ogun State for the final phase of their preparation for the under 20 Wafubi tournament, where they have to pick that ticket for the under 20 Afcon.
Yeah, we talked about the Group A where the tickets have already been picked. And we did talk about the preparations so far. it's good that they have gone to camp where they will be able to fine-tune all the arrangements they need to make to ensure that they get a ticket. We need to talk about pressure. We need to talk about all the things they have to work on. And when athletes go to camp like this, you expect that they give their best so that they can get the job at stake done. And the job at stake now is picking the Group B ticket. So let's watch and see exactly how they do that.
Okay, let's watch and see how exactly they do that. Now, before we go further, let's listen to Coach Zubairu Aliu, a man who was appointed just a few weeks to this particular tournament, and he has this to say right from Ikenne, Ogun State. Let's listen to Coach Zubairu Aliu.
Thank you very much. It has not been easy. We spent about 3 weeks thereabout in Abuja trying to sort out the team. And after that, we started with conditioning of the players. After that, we are trying to see how we can start building the team and inculcating their tactics into the team. But all the same, we had not had the best of time in Abuja because of distraction. Everybody wants the player to be there. But we thank God. After some time, we were able to sort out the list of 25 players. Now we are in Ikenne. We are at the final phase of our preparation, which means in the next 5 days, we will be ready for the competition proper.
Well, how ready is the team at the moment?
Oh, of course, the team is ready. We are very much ready. Just for us to put some finishing touches, maybe to have 1 or 2, 3 Grade A matches here before we move to Lome. And see maybe we can have maybe 1 or 2 international friendly matches as well.
Any idea of the teams that you have in plans to play?
Yeah, of course, we have idea of our opponent, Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. We have full information on their approach to match. We've seen some of their matches they played within Africa and outside, and that's going to help us a lot for us to be able to prepare against them.
Nigerians are expecting so much from this team. Lastly, what's your take?
As usual, like I used to say, Nigeria cannot continue to compromise its position when it comes to age football in Africa. We used to be the dominant. We have dominated everything in the past. But in recent time, it's like we are losing the grip. But all the same, all we are trying to do with this team is to make sure that we return back to our winning way.
What's your target as the team will be heading for Togo next week?
I think before setting any target, let's get the ticket first. Get to the finals, and we think of how we can win the trophy. But certainly, the ticket to Nations Cup is #1 priority.
Thank you very much, Coach Ali Zubairu, for your time.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
Okay, Canis, you heard the coach Ali talking with confidence. He was appointed, like I said, few weeks to this particular game competition, and now if you look at the whole setup from the perspective of the coach, it seems he is ready. But what about the players?
Yeah, I feel for the coach, especially when he says that it's not easy to sort out the team because everybody wants their players to be there. You know, these things always happen. I just hope he's able to stand his ground and pick the best guys that fits into his system or his methodology so that he can deliver results. Because at the end of the day, if God forbid, but when things go wrong, he's the person that is going to bear the first brunt, like the very first person they are going to call. So I just hope he's able to, stand his ground and just go with the guys he feels are going to deliver. That's what I feel.
Okay, Ephraim, let's come to you, Ephraim. If you look at the team setup, he made mention of distraction in Abuja, and now they're in the Kenya. Have they really avoided the distraction?
To a very large extent, he was very particular about what he meant about distractions. He says everyone wanted his boys on the team. And for a coach to come out and say distractions, he tells you exactly the kind of pressure he had to go through. Now he said it's been whittled down to 35. So from whatever number he had and those names being shopped around, ministers list, governors list, senators list, now he has made the choice of the boys he wants. In Ekene, I would tell you confidently, he will have less distraction. He'll have some distraction, but less distraction.
Okay, less distraction for Nigeria. They are in Group B alongside Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire for the other 20 Wafu B tournament to be held in Togo, Lomé. Precisely, they will spend a week in Ikene, and then after that they will move to Lomé, where the competition will begin proper. And we heard it from Coach Zuberi Aliu. They will play some friendly games in Ikene before they move out, and even when they get to Lomé, they will also at least play some friendly games. It's not easy. We had about 120 players stormed Abuja during the sorting process. Now he's finding it definitely that headache of sorting the players. I think he has put that to bed, and he has his team. Let's see how the team will do at the tournament. All right, let's leave the Flying Eagles and go straight to the senior team. Big one on Friday by 5 p.m. Nigeria time. That game will be up and running at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. But Austin Eguavoen is anticipating a very tough clash against the Libyans, the Knights of Libya, right there in New York. How tough do you think this this game will be against Libya, Ephraim?
Well, the coach has tried to make Nigerians keep quiet in case it doesn't go the way Nigerians are expecting. But I don't want to sound pessimistic. He's trying to make excuses, and you don't need to make excuses when you go into a big match like this. It's a tough match, we know that, but you have to get the job done. It is about qualifying and picking the points. So whether he says whether we play South Africa or we play Cameroon or we play Libya, you go into every encounter. The first intention is to win the encounter. And against Libya, he should go into the game prepared to win. So yes, it's a tough opposition, but I don't see why that should be a problem. You go with the intention to qualify for the competition. That's his ultimate target from this particular contest. So go in there and try to get the job done.
Okay, going there. Canis, for Austin Eguavoen, he is the NFF technical director, and some soccer pundits and soccer fans want him to at least take up that position, full role, as the Super Eagles coach. Can you say from the two games and looking at what Austin Eguavoen has done with the Super Eagles in the past, can he continue as in stay, okay, I'm leaving the NFF technical director position to be appointed fully as the Super Eagles coach?
Yeah, I think the squad in general and the coaching crew is very good, considering the two top managers from the NPFL that works with him. I think he's really going to be needing their assistance. And for me, he say when he says he's expecting a tough clash, or it's going to be a tough clash, I just feel he's probably respecting the opponents, and that's class, because everything that happens with this Super Eagles starts from underrating some small teams, but I'm expecting him to win. And for managing the team, it's all good. Most of the times when we have local coaches, you find out that they deliver. The last time we won the Nations Cup, it was a local manager. So I would say yes, Eguavoen should crack on with the boys. For me, Nigeria has one of the best teams in Africa, considering the experience they have and the top clubs that they play in Europe. It's just to find a chemistry that is going to make everybody to work, because I mean they have loads of players. It's just to find particular players that are going to have the strongest chemistry so that we can deliver.
Okay, the players that have the stronger chemistry that would deliver. Ephraim, I know you will be in New York for this particular game. If we look at the team, we will be missing the services of Victor Osimhen. But do you think other strikers that are available to us now can step up?
Yeah, they can do the job. Even if we don't class Lookman as a striker, we class him as a forward or as an attacker. He does very well playing right up there in the front. And then if you bring in the man from Germany, who is doing also very well at the moment, he has a plethora of stars who can play effectively as strikers in Nigeria. So whether you're looking at Boniface or you're looking at Lookman, who is now playing more as a striker, even though he's not an out striker. He has the options. If you look at the absence of Osimhen, he has enough options in his absence.
Okay, now we have, you heard Canis, the last time we won the Nations Cup was with a local manager, that is the late Stephen Keshi in 2013, South Africa precisely, courtesy of Sunday Umba, who was playing for Enugu Rangers at that point in time, and we had some home-based players in that squad that were regular starters. But we've seen that not with the Super Eagles. This present squad, we will have Amas Obasogie from Bendel Insurance. So I think we just have two of them in this squad. That is the home-based player in this present Super Eagles. But now what we've seen with the MPFL, do you think we can actually have like 1, 2, 3, even 4 to be in the Super Eagles right now?
The problem with that is that those playing outside the shores of Nigeria are doing very well for their various clubs, top clubs, you'd say, in Europe. And so those plying their trade in Nigeria have a very stiff competition to break into the team. That's the situation now. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, most of the players were plying their trade here in Nigeria. But now the footballers love to go to Europe for better playing conditions, for better welfare, for better trajectory on their career. We see that most players are called up to the national team from Europe or from other parts of Africa. So it's even more difficult today. Yes, we would love to see more players from the local league getting called up to the national team. But as we all see now, most players go outside. So it's difficult for those on the home front to get invited.
Okay, it's difficult. Now, Canis, we have 3 goalkeepers in camp. 3. Maduka Okoye, we have Amas Obasogie with Bendel Insurance. Maduka Okoye is with Udinese in Italy, the Italian Serie A, and he was in between the sticks in the course of the weekend when Udinese defeated their opponent by 2-0. And Sterling Wambale with Chippa United in South Africa. That is a South African Premier Soccer League, as they call their own league. And now with these 3 goalkeepers, how good do you think they are? Ever since Vincent Yamal left the fold of the Super Eagles, before them we have Peter Rufai, we have Emmanuel Okala, we have Joseph Dosu, we have Ike Shiromo, and one goalkeeper who would have done well for the Super Eagles was Carl Ikeme, but because of Ikeme, I beg your pardon, because of illness, was not able to stay long with the Super Eagles. But now we have 3 of them. And from our own end, I think these 3 goalkeepers are good. But how do you rate the goalkeeping department of the Super Eagles now with these 3 guys I just mentioned?
Yeah, so one word for me would be class. It's always good when, as a manager, you're on the sideline and you look over your shoulder and you have options. So for Amas, I know he had a record of like 18 clean sheets or thereabouts in the Nigerian Premier League, and we have Okoye as well, who is in Udinese. Then Mwabale has a very good command of his area when he is between the sticks. So you will see him keep screaming at his defenders and trying to organize the back line. So it's class for me, the goalkeeping department, and Mwabali should just remain there because he's doing a good job until maybe there's a reason for him not to be there. But at the moment, I would say the goalkeeping department, I mean, it's class.
Okay, the goalkeeping department is class. That game is bid for Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in New York on Friday, 5 p.m. That game will be up and running. The Super Eagles against the Knights of Libya. And after that, they will be leaving the shores of the country for the return leg at Benin, the second largest city in Libya, where they will be playing close to the Mediterranean Sea. So it's going to be a chilly evening right there when they play the return leg. All right, let's leave that story and go straight to Europe now. We'll start with the Women's UEFA Champions League. We know it's FIFA window, but the women's competition is up and running. We have games played last night. And then in Group A, we have Olympic Lyonnais beating Galatasaray 3-0. That is the team of Victor Osimhen and Tosin Demehin of Super Falcons. So she was there, Tosin Demehin. They lost away to Olympic Lyonnais in that game. And Roma pipped Wolfsburg 1-0. nil. Olympic Lioness have won the Women's Champions League more than any other team. And then in Group B, we have Celtic. They lost at home to FC 20 of Netherlands, and Chelsea. In fact, Chelsea did well, though they had to just grind out this win against Real Madrid women at their stadium in Stamford Bridge. Canis, I will begin with you. Chelsea game. Let's look at Chelsea game quickly before I come to Ephraim. 3-2 against Real Madrid, and we know ever since their coach left them to join the U.S. soccer women team, it has not really been the Chelsea we know.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a win for them, and they should hold on to that and try to look for places to develop in the team. Real Madrid themselves, they've not been so good. I know they lost by a large margin to the Barcelona female team, the Barcelona Femini. So I've forgotten that scoreline, but I know it was a huge margin. So Chelsea would just try to fix the problem they're having, the little problems they're having, but we are seeing that it's a slight margin that they've won. So it's just to hold their heads up high and crack on from there.
Okay, hold your heads up high and move on. Ephraim, I don't know if you have one or two to say about the Women's Champions League. It's painful that our own Paris FC Super Falcons African #1 goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie were beaten black and blue by Manchester City during the qualification stage. And then we have our own Christy Uchebe, who plays for Benfica, also suffered some loss, though she was injured when she was injured during the qualification series. She didn't participate in the game. So I don't know if you have one or two to say about the Women's Champions League.
Yes, I do. You see, you're talking about those who are on the losing side, but I don't talk about those who want to win. The Chelsea coach, the female coach for the Chelsea side, came and said they are not going to win the Champions League if they play the way they played against Real Madrid. Now, the target she's setting for her side is, look, I want us to win the Champions League. And to win, we have to play more purposeful football. We have to play with more tact. We have to play exactly what we want to go out and achieve. So people are already talking about winning. We're not talking about those who are losing. Those who are losing are, of course, counting their losses and seeing how they can come back. You talk about Tosin being on the losing side. You talk about so many other persons. Nnadozie not even qualifying. So people want to win this competition. So I'm looking at Chelsea, that the coach is saying, look, I want us to win the tournament, but you cannot win like that. So for me, that's the strongest statement from the round of matches played this week in the Women's Champions League.
Yes, the matches will continue today in the other groups, but that will be coming up on the evening show Sports Update. We'll be looking at those fixtures. All right, let's move ahead. Yes, the news broke out this morning before we came into the studio. Everybody thought he was going to join the German machine or go to the U.S. Men's national team, but Pochettino has taken up that job, and for the German machine men's national team, the man that's still there still remains at the helm of affairs, but this time he's taking up a different role. He's moving from the sideline to another role. That is a former Liverpool coach, that is Jurgen Klopp, has been appointed as global head of soccer for Red Bull. We know that Red Bull owns RB Leipzig, they owns Salzburg, RB Salzburg in Austria. They have a lot of football clubs in Europe and then in America, and they are into a lot of sporting activities. But now, for the soccer side, he is going to be their global head. Canis, I think for Jurgen Klopp, he wants to experience another side of football outside the coaching role.
Yeah, good to have him back in the game, considering how charismatic he is and what he brings to the table. I love the statement that he made where he said that the role might have changed, but the passion for football and the people who make the game what it is has not changed. So it's an industry or a sector where you can hold on to any position apart from being on the sidelines. So now that he is on that global management level where he's going to drive the strategic and vision of Red Bull, I'm expecting changes. I'm expecting to see the kind of success that comes with your club everywhere that he goes to.
Okay, we are waiting to see Jurgen Klopp do well in this particular role. Ephraim, before now, as in a lot of football fans thought he was going to become the German national men's team coach. He was going to take up that role when it looks shaky. We saw what Germany did in Euros, but he has opted for a different role entirely, though still in football, but this time not on the sideline telling players what to do, but this time where he will be involved in development of soccer with these Red Bull teams and the coaching aspect of it, talking to coaches, seeing what he can do with all of their soccer teams.
Yeah, when Jurgen announced his retirement, early last season at Anfield, he said that you'll never walk alone, but you don't want an old man on the sidelines, on the touchline. That's exactly what he said. So he had made it clear he had no plans going to coach again, whether club side or at national team level. Jurgen made it clear he didn't want to be an old man on the sidelines. I don't know what he defines as an old man, but he says you don't need an old man on the sideline. That's what he said early last season. And so when he retired, I knew this guy was done with coaching, maybe at some other level. So I'm happy that he has got something else he wants to do, but not necessarily, because he says he doesn't want to be an old man on the sidelines. And it's good for him.
I think that kind of statement should hit people like Roy Hodgson, who doesn't want to. But it is what it is for Jurgen Klopp. He's a fantastic man.
Absolutely.
His charisma, intelligent, humble, quiet, but he knows what football is all about. And Red Bull are lucky to have him as their global soccer head as we speak. RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg in Austria, and their teams in the US soccer league, they will enjoy the services of Jurgen Klopp and his wealth of experience. I hope Nigeria also will have one who will do all this. We know Mike Emenalo is also doing that in Europe. All right, let's leave that story and look at this one. Transfer Liverpool. 3 clubs now are jostling to get the signature of this particular player. Liverpool, Newcastle, Tottenham, Q4, Bournemouth forward Antonio Semenyo. He's a Ghanaian. Now for these 3 English clubs, EPL club, are queuing for the services of this particular player. Canis, for Liverpool, Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspur, if you want to suggest which of the club should he go to?
You said Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, and Newcastle, yeah?
Newcastle United, yeah.
Yeah, I think that department for Liverpool is already filled up. They've got Luis Diaz, Chiesa, Darwin, Jota, Salah, Cody Gakpo. So I think Newcastle is just where he's really going to enjoy the game. So over there, even Tottenham too is quite filled up, but he can compete because he's a very good player. So he can break into Tottenham as well. But I feel where he's going to express himself more would be Newcastle.
Okay, will be Newcastle. Now let's take another transfer, and that will be for you, Ephraim. Anasa are confident. If you want the morning, your retirement morning, go to the Middle East. Now, Anasa confident of signing Man City midfielder KDB. They call him Kevin De Bruyne, and they are doing all they can to see if they can sign this man. I call him the passer of the ball.
KDB to Al Nassr, well, it will be something else if it gets to happen. But if you're looking at the words they are using, they are confident. And one thing about the clubs from the Middle East, like you're talking about, Saudi Arabia, wherever it is that these players have been bought, and moved to, they know how to do business. They go after exactly what they want, and then they make you offers that are irresistible. Cristiano Ronaldo is earning $7 every second. $7 every second. At his age, that is a whole lot of money. And to be earning that amount of money at this stage of your career, you will take it with both hands. Some other players, look at Neymar. Neymar is earning humongous amounts of money when he moved over there. So KDB, well, I still believe he has a thing to offer in Europe, but if that offer is made to KDB, I believe he'll be tempted enough because he has won practically everything at club level. How many Premier Leagues has he won back to back? 4 to stretch, and before that he won a couple, and then he's also won the Champions League. So there's enough motivation for him now to think about retirement, like you say.
Yes, he's 33 years of age. If he wants his retirement money, go to Al-Nassr and get it. KDB, that is my advice for you. All right, let's go to the last one before we go out of the show because we are almost out of time. Arsenal, Manchester United keep tabs on winger Athletic goalkeeper, young goalkeeper Sam Tickle. He's just 22 years of age. Quickly, Kenneth, for Manchester United, they continue to look for players. They continue to shop for players. They do what we call window shopping. And at the end of the day, well, let me not say this so that Manchester United fans will not come for me. But for this young man, Sam Tickle, 3 clubs, 2 of them, Arsenal, Manchester United, where will be his preferred destination? You would have loved him to go.
It's a tough one considering that at Manchester United, their second goalkeeper, Aita Bayinda, has not really played. I think he's just from the summer of last season, as at today, to this moment, he's played just a game or thereabouts, max 2 games, maximum 2 games. So I feel with the exit of Ramsdale at Arsenal, if he goes there, he might have, because I mean, we've seen how the Champions League has been structured. So this season would be a whole lot of competitions. So I know that Arsenal would also love that rotation. It could be the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, or whatever it is. So if, in fact, considering how numerous games are this season, any place he goes is up to the manager to try to do that rotation and to include him. But he's a very good goalkeeper. I think in the past few games, he's had like 5 consecutive clean sheets. At that age, he's doing just a wonderful job.
Okay, now Ephraim, if you look at Manchester United, they are expecting, Manchester United fans are expecting the manager, as in the management, I beg your pardon, to pull the plugs on Eric Ten Hag. But looking at the whole thing, should the manager alone, that is Eric, bears the brunt, or alongside the players, or even the management itself? We saw the revelation. We saw that interview, what made Ronaldo to leave that team in the manner he left in his second missionary journey with the Red Devils. But now, what Ronaldo said is actually coming into play. It's now visible to everyone to see the problem that Ronaldo actually highlighted.
Just to add to what he said before, you came to me, the coaches play a very huge role in the direction a team goes. Mikel Arteta, for instance, at Arsenal, has a particular style he likes and a particular set of players he likes. He didn't have faith with the goalkeeper that left. And so he stuck with Raya, and the second person left. Now, somebody who was number 1 before you brought Raya in. When things happen like that, it affects the club. So you bring it down to Manchester United. Ten Hag should take the blame. He recruited most of the boys he plays with right now, and he has not been able to have an imprint on the team. So, yes, the chief blame goes to the coach. Yeah, some blame goes to the players, but it depends on how you manage them. They are human beings. You have to be able to manage them. Ten Hag has not effectively managed the players he's had, and that has affected the performances he has churned out in his time at Old Trafford. So, yes, the larger blame goes to him.
Okay, now, Canis, I don't know if you actually agree with Ephraim on that. If we look, let's look at Man U. After that draw in the Europa League, he said what matters most is the end, where they will be at the end of the season. We saw that last season they won in fact, against all odds, they lifted the FA Cup and pushed one team, the Blues, to Europa Conference League. and then they are playing in Europa competition. Do you think that miracle that happened for Erik ten Hag will happen this season? Looking at what the results so far, we had 6 games in EPL this season, and we know where Manchester United are. They are languishing on the 14th position.
Yeah, considering, I agree with Ephraim totally. The very first person that should take the blame is definitely Ten Hag. He's spent money, he's bought players, he's got the support of the management. And sometimes when a team finish off with a trophy, I try to tell people that if we want to do performance analysis of how they've played for that season, it has to be holistic. You can't just every week, week in, week out, you don't win games, and at the end of the season, you just pick a cup and FA Cup when it's not out, and it's a competition you started from maybe round of 16. So you've got to play some teams in the League One who you are way stronger than. And if you're finishing that season with a goal difference of -1, it tells how poor. You can't play 38 games and you finish the season with -1. He has to take the blame. And the way he plays, you struggle to see how he plays. Does he attack from the middle or does he attack from the side? When that last season started, he said he wanted to build the best transition team in the world. But for me, how he has structured, he has not set up the team like who wants to actually build the best transition team in the world.
Okay, if he's been sacked, who do you suggest? Which coach is on the market now that they should go for? Oh, okay, we have Massimo Allegri, we have Thomas Tuchel, who these two coaches also, Manchester United has put them on their want list. So between these two coaches, who do you prefer for Manchester United?
Before I look at the alternatives that you've given me, I strongly believe that Manchester United has signed Ten Hag's replacement. The guy that is assisting him, that is Ruud van Nistelrooy. I just feel like the man is just going to take over the job. That's what I feel.
Okay, that's what you feel. But from those two coaches, okay, if you are given the opportunity, Massimiliano
Allegri and who did you call again?
Tuchel.
Allegri and who did you mention again?
Is that?
And who did you mention again?
Tuchel.
Oh, Tuchel.
Yeah,
Tuchel by far. I'm not even going to think twice. It's going to be Tuchel for me.
Okay. I don't. Ephraim, those two coaches I mentioned from your own end, who do you prefer for Manchester United? Because Manchester United need all the advice in the world right now for them to do well. So they're definitely watching this show. They will listen to us. So which of the coaches do you think out of these two I mentioned, Allegri or Thomas Tuchel?
Like Kani says, I don't think those are the coaches that they should be shopping for at the moment. I would rather they go for Zidane. Where is Zinedine Zidane? They should look for him.
They should look for Zidane, who is enjoying himself.
Yes.
Okay, for Manchester United, they've really had a season that is not what they expect under Erik ten Hag, and as we speak, a lot of meetings is going on at Carrington. They are looking for definitely the replacement, but for the owner and for the new owner of Manchester United, he has come out to say it's not within his power to sack Erik ten Hag, but the board has to meet and take a decision on that. But on a general assessment, Ephraim, I think Chelsea, if we look at Chelsea, they've really picked up under Maresca.
Yeah, Chelsea has picked up on that, the new coach they have. Enzo is doing a good job. And just to think of the fact that they couldn't get the striker they chased all through the window where they had to sign players. Imagine they had the striker they chased. I believe they'll be banging in more goals. So, yeah, they're doing well. You can see Slot is just fitting to the pattern Klopp played at Liverpool before he left. So, Chelsea doing well, Liverpool doing well, City continuing to do what they know how to do, Arsenal doing their bit, Man U, the only team odd among the former big names we've always had in England. So, yeah, they just have to find a solution to the problems they have now. And the manager has to go first.
Okay, the manager has to go first. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show. 360 Sports. Thanks, Ephraim. Thanks, Canis, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that is it. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.
All right.